Okay, it's time for AIM Meeting 4, Agenda Item 5, and we're going to be talking about creating task cards for building buy-in. Okay, so the next phase of our action planning process, going back to our chart, which is again on page 19 of your notebook, we're going to now move into talking about building buy-in. So what's buy-in? Buy-in is the energy, the enthusiasm that people in the school community are going to bring to your changes. We want people to buy into the change for a lot of reasons. One is we want the students to be excited about it because we want them to use the change. We want implementers to be excited about the change because we want to make sure that they execute the change or follow through on what you all are planning in this meeting. We also want to make sure that when the community has supporting the change, they won't let it go away. So it helps with sustainability of your changes. Important people to think about when in terms of getting buy-in are, these two columns of people right here. Students, like I just mentioned, who we want to use the change, and the implementers who we want to make the change happen. So we're going to go through, I've got my purple marker here, and we're going to go through each of these changes, again, looking at all of your changes and decide who needs to buy into this change. Now this is kind of easy because you have a little cheat sheet over here based on what we already talked about when we filled out this chart with students, implementers, and planning team members. So starting with the salad bar, actually let me backtrack for 1 second. Let me just ask you what could happen to our changes if we failed to get buy-in from the people we need buy-in from. Like, let's say for a salad bar, what if we failed to get buy-in from the people who are going to be implementing it? What could happen? Exactly. They might not do it, or they might not make time, or they might fight against it because they don't understand it, or they're not interested in making it happen. So that's why we're going to go through and do this. And again, we're going to create tasks so that we all can ensure the buy-in of these groups. Okay, so let's go back to our chart. Who needs to buy into each of these changes? Starting with the salad bar, who do we need to buy in? Who do we need to support and get excited about making this change? Okay, exactly, the cafeteria staff. So like I told you, you've got a cheat sheet over here. It's very simple. The cafeteria staff, the custodial staff, yep. Right, and the students. Perfect. How about the healthy snack policy? Teachers, absolutely. Parents, and again the students. Students are going to be big all the way down because without their buy-in, the changes are just going to fall flat. Recess equipment, whoever's on duty, and teachers, right. And again, the students. Yep. And the same thing. Great, so the teachers for the classroom activities and the students. Perfect. Now the question is, how do we get buy-in from these folks? And that's what we're going to talk about next. So let's see, who still needs their task cards? Let's see, okay, recess equipment, you all are blue. Here's your blue index cards. And classroom activity breaks, you all are pink. So here's your pink cards. Great, everybody have a pen? Perfect. Does anyone, who wants to start? Let's see, which of these groups wants to start? Okay, Leanne, we'll start with you. Perfect, thanks for volunteering. Okay, so we're gonna come up with some tasks for Leanne to get buy-in for her change. Oops, this is building buy-in. Okay, so thinking about who we need buy-in from related to the recess equipment, we have the staff on duty, the teachers, and of course the students. So thinking about how can we make sure, how can we get buy-in? Let's start with students. Do you have any ideas about how you can get buy-in from the students? Oh, that's a really good idea. So let me write up here, recess, equipment. Okay, so remember we want to keep our tasks on one card, one task per card. We want to keep them specific and doable, so we make sure that everyone knows what to do and so that they can get done between meetings. So we want to find out, we want to survey students, because we want to find out what they would like to do on the playground. Great idea. All right, excellent. So we'll survey the students. Probably before we survey the students, what's another thing we should do? Yeah, make the survey. Excellent. Well, that sounds great. I think if you were able to get the student input about what equipment they want to see, that'd be a great way to get their buy-in. How about from the teachers and the staff that's going to be out monitoring? Oh, that's a great idea. So let's get a new card. So each of these is a new card. Does that make sense? Okay, so grab a new card. And let's talk to the staff that's on duty and teachers about the recess equipment. That's a really good idea. So just informing them about what you want to do is going to be really great. Well, that's a good idea. So maybe talk to the duty staff and teachers, and then maybe ask for feedback. Yeah. Let's just keep that as, I think that's probably one thing. Does that seem doable, to talk to them about it and then ask for their feedback? Great, I think so too. Okay, so about how to implement it. Okay, perfect. That's a really good idea. Because if they have an idea about how to keep track of it and have that accountability piece in place, that would probably help with their willingness later on to do that. Great, those are excellent ideas. Okay, so it looks like we have 3 tasks for building buy-in about recess equipment. So now, do you all feel comfortable? Do you want to work in groups, or would you like to continue to do this as a whole group? All right, excellent. Well, I'll be walking around, so if you have any questions, you can ask.